I wanted to take a few minutes and explain a couple of websites to you to help you with your assignment on creating a PowerPoint about one of the aspects of school counseling. There are two main websites that I think will be of immense help to you when you work on this assignment. This is something you should know, actually, not just for this assignment, but for your own career. This is um, this is what you're going to be doing when you take a step out of the classroom into real life school counseling. So these are your resources to help you understand your program and good reference, lots of great resources. So I'm going to jump in and show you a little bit about two resources that you can use to help you as you plan your presentation. So the first one is on the screen already. It is Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education website. I hope you know that that means DESE. I may refer to DESE in this presentation, and that means Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. If you just Google DESE school counseling, this is the home page for school counseling. You also could use the URL up here at the top. But the first thing you're going to do is come into this website. So I'm going to scroll down just a little bit so you can see the rest of it. So you notice it says school counseling, and then there's a place here to sign up for the school counseling listserv. Highly recommend you do that if you haven't done it already. It will keep you up to date with what's going on in school counseling around the state of Missouri, and it just gives you lots of great information. So one of the first things I want to refer you to is the manual, and I'm even going to try to open it, and hopefully that will happen. And show you a little bit about this. Don't know why it jumped to page 16, but I want to show you page 12. This manual is really something that you should download and have. This really explains the school counseling program in great detail and gives you lots of good information. So here's an overview of what the Missouri Comprehensive School Counseling Program is. So you notice it's aligned around 3 content areas, and these are the areas that school counselors should focus on as they work with students. The next part is the implementation system, and that explains how you go about setting up a comprehensive, high-quality school counseling program. So you notice on the left there are structural components, and these are kind of the foundation of what you should have to set up. You notice it's things like mission and vision, and do you have the proper facilities, the space in the school? Do you have an advisory council? Do you have resources, staffing? Do you have money? That kind of thing. And then the next one over here are the 4 program components, and this is you're going to be making your presentation on one of these unless you're working on the ASCA section. So there's curriculum, individual student planning, responsive services, and system support. So this just gives you an overview of what these 4 are. And then on the right-hand side, it gives you an idea of what kind of resources you need in order to set up your counseling program. So human resources, financial resources, and political resources. And those are things like understanding the policies, your ethics, position statements, knowing the laws of your area, that kind of thing. So read that manual, download that manual, keep that manual in front of you. That's important to know. So then scrolling down the website a little bit more, you will see that there's also a really good video to watch about school counseling. And then below that are the 4 program components. Curriculum, individual student planning, responsive services, and system support. So if you click on one of them, let's click on school counseling curriculum, then a wealth of information will open up for you. Here are developed lesson plans. So when you're doing your presentation, I would want you to show this to the class and go into detail about how the lesson plans work and operate. And then they talk about the initiatives that are key in Missouri these days, which are bullying lesson plans, trauma-informed, and suicide prevention. So you could talk about those. Sorry, it keeps going back to I must be doing something wrong here. Individual student planning. We all think that's just career development, and it is a lot of career development, but it's also transitioning, it's self-appraisal, it's decision making, it's goal setting. So bring all of that out. Again, there's always a PowerPoint for each of these areas, and then it talks about elementary, middle school, high school. Be sure and bring in the ICAP. That's very important in individual student planning. So then the next one, and I hope I don't go back to the very beginning again. Good. Responsive services. And this is what we think of when we think of school counseling, responding to a need that a student brings you, or a parent brings you, or a teacher brings you. So it talks in here a lot about the different issues that counselors deal with. Again, there's a PowerPoint. And then scrolling down farther, there are how to make referrals, the process that you would go through, small group counseling guide, how to set up a small group, and there's lots of, if you click on this one, there are lots of counseling groups set up for you so that you don't have to begin from scratch. Crisis intervention and collaboration and consultation are also key points of responsive services. The last one is system support, and sometimes I don't think we give this one enough credit. This is really an important aspect of school counseling. The management of making sure that you complete all of the different aspects of school counseling. So calendaring is a big one, and so it gives you some samples of that. Again, there's a PowerPoint, and it talks about principal and counselor agreement, annual agreements, and things for the administrators to note, position papers. And when you click on some of these links, it will take you to information about what are appropriate and non-appropriate activities for school counselors, and just lots of information about how to set up your program, needs assessment, evaluation, use of data, which is a really big thing in school counseling and education anymore. So you want to learn all about that. So that, in a nutshell, is the school counseling program resources. Use this. It's very, very good. The next one that I want to show you is ASCA. Do you know what this is? Have you seen this? My answer is that most of you have not. If we were in person, I would be asking you, what do you think it is? You might get a notion up here by what it says up here, but this is the ASCA National Model. And these are the 4 program components from ASCA. And ASCA is the nationwide Association for School Counseling and the credentialing body. So this is an area that you definitely need to know and understand, these different program components. So to learn more about that, you would want to go to, whoops, wrong one, sorry. You would want to go to the ASCA webpage, and that is listed at the top up here. Again, if you just Google ASCA School Counseling, this will show up. So because of COVID, their annual conference is virtual this year. I've been to it several times. It's an excellent conference. So you can see all the things they have across the page. They talk about the national model, joining, their publications, their position papers. They're a great, great website for professional development and learning about different aspects of school counseling. They always keep their initiatives listed right here, and they change and are based on what's happening in the world and in the country. Um, so the way to get to more about the ASCA national model, you would click on school counseling, and then now the school counseling page opens up and you can see all the things down the side. And then if you click on the ASCA national model, it will take you to, it's new, it just came out last year, so it's important to understand that. And here's ways you can get training, get an overview, download templates and resources, so this would be a really good resource for you to learn more about the 4 program components of the ASCA national model. The last thing that I want to show you on the ASCA national model are the standards. And there are some documents that you really need to be aware of that sometimes we overlook as school counselors. And there are 4 of them, or 3 of them listed here, plus the ASCA national model. So the first one are the ethical standards that guide how we operate as school counselors. The next one are the professional standards and competencies, which indicate what we need to know and what our skill set should be in order to be an effective school counselor. And then the last one are what we want to teach our students through our role as a school counselor. And then the 4th one is the ASCA national model, which I have already explained to you. So I hope you are excited about this assignment and this presentation. This is a time for you to really delve in. I know you've heard about this throughout your program, but now is the time to really delve in and learn the ins and outs of your role as a school counselor. So enjoy, and I will see you in class.